Yet another Lego puzzle video. I do like making these videos, and I've mentioned in previous videos, but I'll just, for new people and whoever can't remember, because I do drone on a lot. I used to build some of these puzzles, not this one obviously, and not this one because I just found this one on TikTok the other day. I used to build these puzzles out of wood, and the bird puzzle I built out of wood, and this puzzle I built out of wood when I was a kid, and I liked that, and because I like woodworking. But the very first puzzle I actually remember ever building out of wood, I must have been I won't say I was in single digits, so I must have been older than 10. But I remember using my dad's jigsaw to cut the pieces. And we had a vise downstairs in the basement, and we had a little work area in the basement. It wasn't a wood shop, it was just a little work area where Dad kept his tools, like pipe wrenches and stuff, and soldering guns for the plumbing and stuff. The big brazing guns, torches. And he had an old Mastercraft jigsaw. It was a stainless steel housing, like the old 1960s Mastercraft or Craftsman, when the tools were awesome. And no variable speed, nothing fancy, but it was a jigsaw and it was solid steel. And what I used to do, because I didn't have a table saw, is that I would wrap a towel around the handle of the jigsaw and turn it upside down and put it in the vise, so that the blade would be up here, and the bed of the vise, the jigsaw would be here, and the blade would be up here, and I would put the handle in the vise. And of course, it had an on-off switch on the jigsaw, not a trigger that as soon as you let go, it would stop. The jigsaw was on or it was off. And I would just turn the jigsaw on, so the jigsaw, it's almost like a coping saw by then, like an electric coping saw. And then I would have the wood, and I would through the jigsaw. That's what I used to do. And then, of course, lots of sanding afterwards. Lots of sanding afterwards. But what I did, so this container is not the actual puzzle. The gray is the actual puzzle, but I built a container to make it look pretty, and you can put it on a mantelpiece or something. These are the actual puzzles. And if you've been around any sort of puzzle community at any point in the last 40 years, you've seen these pieces. I've seen this numerous times over my life in people's houses when I was growing up. And I'm not sure if it's still one of those valid little hobbies that people have of having puzzles for kids and stuff in the house. But this is a 7-piece, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-piece. And they're Tetris looking pieces, straight up. They're not all consistent. Most of them are 4 units, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But this one is 1, 2, 3. Because again, if you add up 7 times whatever, you need 27 squares. Because there's 9 per level, and there's 3 levels. And so I remember in the Creative Puzzles of the World book that I had, that I always got from the library and had to pay a lot of overdue fines for back in the day, because I would just take it all the time and forgot to bring it back. It was called Creative Puzzles of the World. This was in there, and basically this is like some of those other puzzles that you get, piece puzzles, even if it's a flat with the triangles and stuff, where you can make various shapes and various things, shapes and forms out of these pieces. And so this thing, of course, you can put these 7 pieces and make them into a cube, or you can make it into a sea monster just by arranging the pieces in some collective way, make it into a chair, make it into whatever. All I remember now, today, is making the cube, because I don't have, I'm sure I could Google it, go on the internet and Google what other shapes and forms you can make with these 7 pieces. But it's fun. I was planning on doing that and putting a little thing in the bottom here where it would have a piece of paper where you pull out and you can make the various shapes. And hey kid, here's 7 pieces, and go make a snake or a chair or whatever. And this isn't giving away anything, because if you stumble across this on the internet, this is not me ruining how to build the cube. So basically, this is your start, these 2 pieces here, and then this piece goes here, and then you can probably figure it out from there, right? So if that goes there, and that goes there, and then this piece, the very last piece, goes there, and all of a sudden you have a cube, right? One of the things that I remember from Creative Puzzles of the World is that this here was one of the shapes, which I always thought was cool, like a cubert. It's a Hubert level. So that's what it is. But those are only 2 shapes I remember how to make. because this one's very easy, because you take this nice little 4-piece here and you just put it on top like that, and all of a sudden you have the stepping stairs that Kubert used back in the day. So I finished making these pieces because, again, this was the first wooden puzzle I made when I was a kid. And I decided, after building most of these rest of these guys, I was going to build a Lego. But then I thought, well, that's not good enough just to build this thing. I want to make a nice little container, a housing for it, so you can put it on the mantelpiece. Now, sometimes it goes in. There you go. And then a nice little lid on it. And that's Art Deco enough for me to, you know, keep in. I want to get this thing out without rebuilding it. So there we go. Because I also made it so you can put the lid on top and just put the pieces on top like that. So the pieces fit right on top. Actually, let's flip it over. It's more fun that way. No, I believe there's also a way of making this cube so you can actually support it just holding it by the center square in the bottom, but I can't remember how to do that at all. And then there we go. So now it's on the display stand. So I made this little display here. That's not too shabby. It was a nice build, and it reminded me of the puzzles I had when I was a kid, and my friends' parents would have these puzzles in their house. It's almost like that wooden round ball puzzle that there's the you slide a few, almost like a bird puzzle, but you just slide a few pieces and the whole thing falls apart. Or the elephant puzzle where the elephant's in sections and you turn the ears and you can take the sides off and it all comes apart in like 10 or 11 pieces. I love those puzzles. I keep on trying to find those puzzles to see if I can attempt to build them out of Lego. Besides the bird puzzle back there, I don't have any other bird type puzzles. I mean, that's close to a bird puzzle, a 3-piece bird puzzle right there, but it's not really a bird puzzle. I don't classify it as a bird puzzle. But the elephant and the circle and the cube, where you slide a few pieces around and the whole thing comes apart one piece at a time, I love those puzzles too. And then you have to put them back together. This one is not like that. This one is just a piece placement puzzle. And as I say, you can make various shapes with it. There is a page, I'm sure, on the internet that show you all the various different shapes that you can make from those 7 pieces. Right now it's just in this nice little display container, and I leave it on the shelf in the rec room so people can look at it. Hey, it looks cute. It was a candle holder. Nope, it's a Lego puzzle, cube puzzle, and it's right in there. So a nice quick 7-minute video for a nice puzzle that I made out of Lego, and that I did make when I was very young out of wood, just using my dad's jigsaw. Put it in a vase. So, and a lot of sanding afterwards to make them sure they were cubed again. That's it. That's all. I honestly, maybe I will find a link if you feel like building this puzzle, to have it around for the kids to play with. Because again, if the kids play with it, it doesn't matter. There's 7 pieces and they're pretty solid. As they are, this one piece I couldn't make solider, the sideways, but this one piece on top comes apart. And they're cute and they're fun, and you know, if you're into making puzzles for kids, I don't know. So, but as I say, you can start creating vast things with this thing, and then and all of a sudden you have a snake. Right? I don't know if that's true. I don't think that's it at all. So I'll say it was a long time ago since I seen the instructions for or the pictures for making the different things. I will see if I can post a link below for the actual the different things you can make. But I do remember when I was a kid that I had fun trying to make all the various different shapes that were on that page. And it's been so long that I do not at all remember. I just remember the chair and the snake and this guy. That's all I remember from the instructions or the pictures that you could build with these 7 pieces. So that's it. That's all. That's all she wrote. I want everybody to stay safe. Take care. There's no secret to this puzzle. Putting the cube together, there's 3 or 4 different ways of putting this cube together. This is the only way I remember how to put it together. There are other ways of making a cube out of these 7 pieces that are a little more complicated. But again, there's also, sorry, not to go off on this quick tangent, but there was, I've been following Lego obviously for a long time on the internet, and there was a really good builder back in the day that was making bird puzzles and other puzzles out of Lego bricks. But this is before they invented, before Lego came out with the inverted 2x2 tile, right? And so you had to get a smooth on all sides without inverted tiles. And that requires a lot more work to do. It can be done. He did it with the bird puzzles that he was making. I don't know if he could do it to on this level of how small this is. And so you would just have the open plate at the bottom, and that's good enough. I do like putting the tiles on the bottom to make all 6 sides of the whatever you're making, so everything's smooth. But back in the day, but he was adamant. After, I remember seeing his little article, and he had pictures of the inverted tile, and people were making the pieces using the inverted tile, which I did here. This is all tile, inverted tile. And he wasn't gatekeeping, but he was saying that people who are using inverted tiles were cheating. And I'm not going to fault him for thinking that, because he was making puzzles for decades before the inverted tile showed up, and making them wonderfully and intricate so they could actually, be like that. But I was waiting for the inverted tile. I saw how he built a few of his pieces, and I'm going, that's a lot more work, and it's a lot less strong than for myself, because hey, 6-year-old, come over here and play with this, and I don't want it falling apart. And so I was very happy when they released the inverted tile. And that's basically when I started making Lego puzzles again. Like this, I made dozens of these bird puzzles out of wood way back in the day, like dozens of these bird puzzles. And because I'm a radial arm saw, and as I say, it was very easy to make this piece on a radial arm saw, because it's zing zing and zing zing. You make those dados on a radial arm saw, piece of cake. I had all the measurements notched out, so I just I didn't have to measure it. Just I had the blocks there, and then you can cut this piece out. I had the stops set on each side for every cut that I wanted to make. But the inverted tile made it very, very easy, so I could just do that at the bottom instead of having some sort of hinged snot building technique that would allow me to flip this over. So this would be every side would be smooth. That's a lot of work, and I respected him for doing it, but I wasn't going to. I'm not planning on doing that. I like this. This is a lot easier. Regular tiles on top and inverted tiles on the bottom. the end. Anyway, so that's it. That's all. I'm going to put this thing, if I remember correctly, back together either this way. Okay, where was this? No, it wasn't this way. There we go. So ostensibly, this was about this guy here. Ostensibly, I can speak in good English. And I hope it came across that it's a nice, fun build. It's a nice build to have in the house, up on the mantle or on a shelf for the kids to come over and play with. And even by itself, sitting there on the shelf like this, it's not too shabby. I mean, you could put a candle on top if you so desire. I'm not telling you to. But I like that. I wanted to do that. So, and then it keeps all the pieces in one spot. So you can just, hey kid, go knock yourself out. So that's it. That's all. I will talk to everybody soon. Everybody stay safe and take care.